Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be tackling how to win friends and influence people. Specifically part 2, 6 ways to make people like you.
6 ways to make people like you.
This book, it's massive. It's helped so many people over the decades and still today. It's got so much to offer when it comes to improving your social skills.
You know what's really interesting about this book is it appeared right as the world was becoming so self-centered, you know. The Great Depression had just rocked everybody and self-help was becoming huge. But Carnegie took a different approach. He said, you know what? True success, real happiness, it doesn't come from focusing on yourself. It comes from having those strong relationships.
Absolutely. And you can see that right from his first principle, which is becoming genuinely interested in others.
Yes.
Which sounds simple.
It does.
Deceptively simple.
It does.
But I think so many of us get it wrong.
Yeah, think about it. Like, how often are you really listening to somebody versus just waiting for your chance to talk? Carnegie says that genuine interest, that is the key to building friendships. It's about shifting that focus off yourself.
And he tells this great story about his dog, Tippy.
Right.
Right? And Tippy would just shower everyone with love.
Yes.
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
Just like a dog will do. And then he compares that to this study by the New York Telephone Company where they analyze conversations.
Oh, wow.
Hundreds of conversations.
Yeah.
And you know what they found? The word I was used almost 4,000 times.
Oh, my goodness.
It makes you think.
Wow.
Yeah.
How often are we really letting our egos just dominate?
Right? It's a huge wake-up call for a lot of us, I think.
And it's not about being fake.
No.
Right? It's not about putting on the show. It's about being curious.
Exactly.
And kind of letting go.
Yeah, and just trying to get rid of that need to always put ourselves at the center.
Okay, so genuine interest. That's the foundation.
Yes.
What's the next brick we're going to lay in this foundation of likability?
He says it's the smile.
Yeah.
A genuine smile.
Sounds simple, but it's so powerful. It just instantly makes you seem warm and approachable.
And he even says that Charles Schwab owed his $1 million success in the steel industry to his smile.
I love that.
Is there any research to back this up, or was he just a really good storyteller?
There's actually research on this now, nonverbal communication.
Really?
And they found that smiling can actually influence how people see us.
Wow.
They'll see us as more trustworthy, more competent, and it's not just first impressions. Smiling can make us more effective leaders, negotiators, even parents.
I never thought about it like that.
It's really interesting. There was a reason why all those phone power programs were so popular back in the day. You know, they were training telephone operators to smile while they're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Because it affects your tone of voice.
Oh, that makes sense.
It does make sense.
So it's not about just like a fake grin.
No.
It's like a genuine...
It's an attitude. It's like finding that joy and letting it radiate outwards.
I'm smiling just thinking about it.
I love it.
Okay, so we got genuine interest.
Yeah.
We got a smile that can launch 1,000 ships.
$1 million smile.
What's next?
He says remembering and using people's names.
Okay.
Think about it, you know? We're just constantly bombarded with information these days.
Yeah.
It's so easy to forget someone's name.
Yeah, for sure.
But Carnegie knew our names, they're so personal.
Yeah.
It's tied to our identity.
It's almost like he's saying a name is like a person's story.
Absolutely. When someone remembers our name, we feel seen. We feel like we matter.
He tells a story about Jim Farley, who was a master of names. He could remember over 50,000 people's names.
That's incredible.
I know. And it was a huge part of Franklin D. Roosevelt's political success.
Yeah.
How did he do it? Did he have a photographic memory or something?
He was just so disciplined. He would learn people's names, but not only that, he would connect those names with details about the person.
Oh, wow.
Their family, their interests, their opinions, even, and then he would use those details in conversations later.
Wow.
So it made them feel like he truly cared.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not just memorizing.
Right.
You're making a connection.
Exactly.
It reminds me of Andrew Carnegie, the steel tycoon.
Yes.
It's not Dale Carnegie.
You're right.
He used to name rabbits after the kids that helped feed them.
Ah.
Even at that level, he knew the power of a name.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's
just so fascinating.
Ah.
We've got genuine interest. We've got a smile that can launch 1,000 ships. And we've got a knack for remembering names.
Absolutely.
What else does Carnegie have for us?
We'll have to find out after the break.
Stay tuned.
You know, it's one thing to know all these principles, but it's another thing entirely to actually use them.
It really is. It's like having a toolbox full of shiny tools.
Exactly.
They don't do any good unless you're going to use them.
Right. And Carnegie, he doesn't just give us the theory. He gives us these really practical examples of how to use these things.
Yeah. Love to dive into that. So let's start with becoming genuinely interested in others.
Okay.
It sounds so easy, but when you actually try to do it,
It's hard.
it can be really tough.
It is. It's about really, paying attention to how you talk to people.
Yeah.
Do you always steer the conversation back to yourself?
Oh, yeah.
You cut people off?
All the time. I think I'm always just waiting for my turn to talk.
We all do it.
Yeah.
But try to make an effort to ask questions,
Okay.
open-ended questions,
Yeah.
and then really listen to the answers and try to understand their perspective.
Okay, I can try that.
Yeah.
Now, what about names? I am so bad with names.
Oh, yeah.
I meet somebody, and 2 seconds later,
It's gone.
it's gone.
Yeah.
Any advice for those of us who are name challenged?
Repetition and association. So when you meet someone, repeat their name back to them.
Okay.
It's so nice to meet you, David.
Yeah.
And then try to connect their name with something visual.
Right.
Like David with the blue shirt or David who loves baseball.
Okay, I like that. So you're kind of creating a little link.
Exactly.
What's next?
The art of listening.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it before, but it's so important.
Yeah.
We're so distracted these days.
Constantly.
Truly listening to somebody is huge.
Yeah. He tells this story about a New York telephone company employee
Right.
who had to deal with this customer who was just
A nightmare.
a nightmare. This guy just yelled at everybody.
Oh, God.
But this employee, he just listened to the guy's complaints,
Wow.
and it totally disarmed him.
Really?
It's amazing how powerful just listening can be.
Put your phone away. Make eye contact and really focus on what they're saying.
Yeah. And you make them feel heard and understood.
Yes.
That's so important. Okay, so we've got listening. What about finding common ground?
Okay.
How do you do that without being all up in their business?
Just be observant. Look
Yeah.
for those little hints in the conversation.
Okay.
Did they mention they went on a trip?
Right.
Ask them about it.
Yeah.
Are they wearing a band t-shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Talk about music.
It's not about forcing it.
Exactly.
It's about those natural moments.
Yeah, those organic moments. And remember, it's a two-way street.
Oh, right.
You share your passions, too.
Okay, I'll have to think about what those are. So last but not least, sincere appreciation.
Yes.
How do you make it sincere?
Be specific.
Okay.
Think about the things that you genuinely admire. Instead of saying, you're a great writer,
Mm-hmm.
tell them why. I loved how you described the sunset in that last piece. It was so vivid,
That's good.
you know?
Yeah.
And don't forget to just say thank you.
It's so simple, but we forget.
We do.
I love that story about the Connecticut attorney who got a Packard
Oh, yeah.
because he was just admiring his relatives.
Her stuff, her house, her possessions.
Amazing.
It shows you how powerful that sincere appreciation can be.
So we're not trying to manipulate anybody.
Yeah.
We're not trying to get something.
No, it's about being kind,
Yeah.
being generous.
Like that.
It's like shifting your mindset from what can I get from this person
Right.
to how can I make this person feel good?
And it's those little things.
Yes.
Those small gestures.
That can make such a big difference.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about Carnegie's 6 principles for making people like you.
Yes.
And we even got into the nitty-gritty of how to actually use them.
Exactly.
I hope everyone listening is feeling inspired
Me too.
because building those strong relationships,
It's so important.
it's really one of the most rewarding things we can do.
It is.
And who knows,
What?
maybe you'll get a Packard out of it.
You never know?
Just kidding.
Wow.
But seriously, these principles, they can really change your life.
They can. They can make you feel more connected,
And happier.
more fulfilled.
So go out there and spread some Carnegie magic.
I love it.
Make someone feel important today.
Yes.
And until next time, keep diving deep.
It's amazing how relevant all this stuff still is, you
Yes.
know, even
Yeah.
with all the technology and social media and everything.
Right. It's like he really understood human nature.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Social media. It's
Yep.
all about likes and followers.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we all just want to connect with people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not about, tricks or anything.
No.
It's about really caring about other people.
Being genuine.
Yeah, being willing to listen
Being warm.
and making them feel valued.
And those little things, they
Yeah.
can make a huge difference.
So as we wrap things up here, any final thoughts for our listeners?
Let me ask you this. Think of someone you admire.
Okay.
What's one thing you could compliment them on?
Ooh, I like that.
Think about it. Maybe it's their work ethic. Maybe it's their sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they achieved something recently.
Okay.
And then go tell them.
Yeah.
See what happens.
It's such a simple thing,
It is.
But it really embodies everything we've talked about today.
It does. It's about putting the focus on them.
Yeah.
Recognizing their strengths and making them feel good.
So to everyone listening, go out there and spread some Carnegie magic.
I love it.
Make someone feel important today. And that's our deep dive on how to win friends and influence people.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.